So good morning. It's Sunday morning. If you're here live and you've made it on a Sunday morning, let's give yourself a little pat on the back. Well done for making it. And if you're watching the recording, then also well done for making it. You've made the first step. That's always the most difficult one. So what's today all about? So I've said it's kind of a kickstart for us going back to basics. It's a kickstart to some new routines. Now, I know from the amount of emails and messages, and I think most of you are watching the recording, that it is a very common state to be in at the moment, which is that of, oh, I just feel like I've gone off track a little bit. You know, summer's this very expansive, exciting energy, but it's not really that great for routines, is it? You know, we've got visitors, or we're going away, or maybe it's the summer holidays, the kids are off. So it's, you know, one of those times that it's a little chaos. It's joyful chaos, like this little one, Angelo, who is my assistant teacher today, if you've not met him. So it's a little bit of joyful chaos, and it's the sun energy. But as we start to transition into autumn, this is a time to really root down. It's all about earth, and it's kind of that feeling of going back to school. And it's about putting in new routines and rituals and things that are going to just give us that state of stability back. And this time of year is more important than ever for putting these routines and rituals in while we've still kind of got that summer energy. It's good to be able to utilize that. But what we want to be doing is starting to build our strength up for winter. And now it's more important than ever in these times that we keep ourselves strong. And so that means mentally strong, physically strong, our immune system strong, emotionally strong. Because it's challenging at the moment, let's face it, isn't it? Because there's all these things that are happening around us that maybe make us feel, perhaps, and this would be common if you're feeling this, and I often do as well, to check myself in, can make you feel a bit disempowered, like you're not in control of your life and the things going on around you. So what do we do to counterbalance that? We take control over the controllables. So we build in healthy routines, healthy rituals, and we try and keep ourselves strong on the inside. And I've got this kind of mantra in my head that I'm finding is helpful with this, which kind of gives you the context for today, which is what is inside you is stronger than what's outside you. So we have the strength to get through this, but we only stay strong, we only stay in this sense of empowerment if we focus on what's going on within. And one of my heroes, you've maybe heard me quote him a lot of the times, Wim Hof, he says, the only thing that matters right now is that we stay strong, healthy, and happy. So today, what's today going to be about? So we're going to look at 5 factors, which are going to be the theme of the month as well. If you're joining me for the whole month, we're going to be looking at 5 things. We're going to be looking at conscious control, which is a bit what I talked about there, is feeling that taking control of the things we can control. We're going to be looking at primal trust, which is that feeling of feeling safe in our bodies. That's going to put us into a very grounded state. We're going to look at how we can reduce anxiety, reduce stress, and go back within and keep ourselves in balance. We're going to be looking at core integrity, which is building strength and resilience, both physical and mental. And we're going to be looking at how we can also take charge of our immune system. So there's been lots of research recently, which many of it hasn't made it into the mainstream media, strangely, because it's come out in the British Medical Journal, but there are certain risk factors that make us more susceptible to catching viruses, and there are certain intervention strategies that we can use, that we can put into place to mean that we're not just less susceptible, less likely to catch something, but we're also, if we do catch a virus, our immune system is in a better place to be able to withstand it. So there are things that we can do. And that's what today is about, focusing on the things we can do. So, but let's start. First of all, before we start to move or start to do anything, I'm going to invite you to take a self-care hug. And this is just a reminder, and this is a place you can always come back to if things get stressful, you just want to take a little time out. We take a self-care hug. That's just a reminder to say, above all else, make sure that you honor your body, honor the sensations in your body. You treat it kindly by talking nicely to yourself. If something doesn't feel good, don't do it. Be happy with where you are. So accept where you are with grace. So this is where I am today. Doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. All that matters throughout this process is you and your body. So let's change over the cross of the legs. And then we change over the arms. And we have another hug. While we have this hug, to remind ourselves of the differences between us. So my work's about realizing that we are all individual, unique plants in the garden of life, or unique animals. So all our bodies are different. We'll all be doing different things. We're all arriving and the mat in a different place. So maybe this is just a reminder to, if we all embody this state of acceptance of ourselves and also acceptance of everybody else in the group, we can nurture this safe space that we find ourselves in today. And that's my intention for you, is to create a safe space for you. Maybe explore some new possibilities. And to maybe come out with just some small steps that you can take to improve your health and well-being. Why a lot of people, they maybe embark on a new routine and say fall off the wagon very quickly, is that they make it too difficult. So they try and overhaul everything at once. Really all we need is maybe one ritual that you put into place. One small change over a sustained period of time. I'm going to be showing you towards the end how you can implement a strategy that helps you stay on track with just one small change. And that small change can make a big difference. It's a great time to do it first thing in the morning, a morning ritual. Set yourself up for the day. So let's slowly just come to a stop. Let's just place the hands on the heart space, so right in the center of the chest. So if you're not comfortable, sat with the legs crossed, like I'm sat with the legs crossed now, but you don't need to be. You can sit in a chair. You extend the legs out if you like. You can sit on the knees. I'm just going to invite you just to bring the hands to the heart and just for a moment, just close the eyes. So today's about going within and reconnecting with our bodies and realizing just how strong we are, that we are strong enough to withstand anything, withstand any storm. With the eyes closed, I'm going to invite you now just to observe your heart beating, or just imagine it there. Can you feel that strong heart within you? It's a very individual heartbeat. You hold all this strength and power within you. Now bring your awareness to your breath. And just observe the breath without changing anything. Just observe it for now. Where does it feel like it's coming from? Maybe high up in the chest to start with. And can you take one hand to the belly? Bring your awareness into that hand as you breathe. Breathe a bit deeper down into the belly. So the breath, one of the simplest things we have control over. So can you lengthen the breath now? Can you make it last? Maybe 3 counts in, 3 counts out. Can you pause at the top of the inhale? Can you extend the exhale a little longer than perhaps it was before? Can you extend the breath to 4 counts in, 4 counts out? It doesn't matter if you can't, if you're just on 3, that's also okay. Can you feel the heart slowing down? Can you feel your whole system calming down? Just notice the quality of your breath now, when you started. And here's just a small example of how we do have conscious control over our bodies. We can mindfully, safely slow down our breathing and slow down our heart rate, which in turn balances our nervous system, strengthens our immune system. How does it feel when you just consider that you have control over much of what's going on in your body? Do you feel strong? Do you feel more empowered? You just consider how strong this heart is and how you can control something as simple as your breath, but perhaps, the most important function. How does that feel to know that you've got the strength within you? Maybe if these words resonate with you, you can repeat them in your head. I am strong in this body. I am strong on this earth. I am strong in this life. And if that's feeling good, and just take the tip of the thumb, tip of the forefinger together on each hand. Just release the hands down to the knees. Just to seal in this feeling of having the strength within you. Mindset is everything. And our dear Wim Hof has proven, not just with himself, but the team of scientists that went to study his method, that just with the right thoughts, with breath work, some simple changes, We have conscious control over our entire physiology, including our immune response. So let's bring the hands together at heart now and just rub the palms together, keep the eyes closed. And then place the hands over the eyes. Just let them be bathed for a moment. And then slowly taking the hands away, start to blink the eyes open and just take a huge big yawn. And then release the hands down behind you. So just take the legs out, stretch out the legs a little bit now and just give them a little bit of a bang. So one of the wisest words I ever heard was to control the controllables, or in the Serenity Prayer. Let's massage the legs a little bit while we do this, which maybe some of you have heard of. God grant me the strength to change the things I can, and the grace to accept the things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. So my invitation is right now in these times, control the controllables. So we're going to go down to the floor now and work on something called Primal Trust. Some of you may have done this with me last week. I'm going to lie down onto the back and just feel your body against the earth. So it's really important, and this part's missed out of a lot of exercise regimes, maybe even body work therapies. It's sometimes missed out. We need to feel safe in our bodies. We need to feel safe on this earth. So we're going to have the feet flat and just take the arms out to the side. Just really plant yourself down on the mat. Just have a real wriggle around, closing the eyes, releasing the shoulders. And as with the rest of the session, do feel free to fidget if you don't feel comfortable. Feel free to make the position yours. Part of the idea of conscious control and feeling safe in your body is knowing that you're in charge. It's your body. The strength will come from within you. I'm just here really to facilitate and guide. I'm going to invite now just to feel the support of the earth beneath you. Feel where your body connects to the mat. And primal trust is this feeling that we are safe, that everything's okay. That's our starting point. Where can we feel safe? How can we feel safe? We go into our body and we connect to the earth. So feel the earth beneath you, this same earth that we're all sharing here this morning. Feel how it supports you. And just let your body rest on the earth. How does that feel? Just allow yourself this time, this space to let go. Let's go back to the breath. Start just by, and this is a very simple technique you can do to control the breath. Start just by noticing it and count. See how many counts it is in, how many counts it is out. Start from where you are. See if you can extend that inhale and the exhale, maybe just by a count. The length of the counts, up to you. I'm not counting for you, I'm inviting you to do it. When I tell you to do it, it's something coming from the outside. When you do it, you're in control. Can you extend to 5 counts maybe? Maybe it's just one round that you manage 5 counts in and 5 counts out. But there's this sweet spot, the 5-second breath. This brings us into a state of safety. We're telling the body, it's okay, you're safe here. We can add in a mantra here. If these words resonate with you, you can repeat them after me. You repeat them yourself in your own head or out loud if you wish. I am safe in this body. I am safe on this earth. I am safe in this life. I am safe in this body. I am safe on this earth. I am safe in this life. You just notice how your body responds to the words that you use. Another thing that we have conscious control over is those thoughts that we choose. And a mantra is a really good way of just ingraining in the new neural pathways of these positive words. So we're going to really connect into the body now and just maybe bringing the knees into the chest. And I'm going to invite you just to have the knees in without pulling on anything. Just have a roll around on the back, just feeling the earth beneath you and going to the back of the body. Maybe there's places on the lower back, the upper back, either side, even in the shoulders, that feel like you've got hardened tissues, like tight spots. I'm just going to imagine that you're massaging the body against the earth. So just going to move in whatever way feels nice. Now, if you want to bring the feet down and rock the knees side to side, you can as well. You can take the legs up in the air. But just moving around. These places in the body where we've got hardened tissues, these are actually areas where we're holding on to stress, fear, anxiety. So sometimes it's in our body, even if our mind's not aware of it. So we always want to be working to get rid of these hardened tissues, not with a fierce approach, but by just being really relaxed with it. As if you're giving yourself the most delicious, oily massage against the earth. And then maybe we're going to roll on all the way over onto one side and all the way over onto the other side. So if you're ever feeling like you're overwhelmed, you've got stress, great thing to do is just to come down to the floor and have a good roll around. And when you're ready, we're going to roll all the way back up to seated. And we're going to come to a position with the legs crossed, if that's comfortable for you. If it's not, just so you can have the feet flat. Some of you will know that I do this in pretty much all the classes. This is the Soupy Grind, and this is magical. I'm going to explain why as we move, but you'll see I'm wriggling. This is a natural sort of thing that we do, panticulation. This is our natural way of moving. I'm going to start to circle around the sit bones. And again, so I'll show you the difference. Externally guided, you're going, oh, she said circles, I'm going to go just like mindless circles. Internally guided, you're feeling the sit bones connect. Inhaling, and you're just moving at whatever pace feels good for you, and moving again as if you're giving the body a massage. And this is another movement that's great for you to be able to connect into your body and to its wisdom, and also just to start to fall in love with your body a bit more again. And this is really key to your ongoing motivation when you're getting back on track. Why do people not stick to exercise regimes, fitness regimes? A, they make it too hard. They're going too hard too quickly. And B, they don't enjoy it. You don't enjoy it, you're not going to do it. That's why I often say keep a smile on your face and find what feels good. You want to move in a way that goes, oh yeah, that feels nice. It doesn't matter how far you go. It doesn't matter if you're just doing these gentle circles. It doesn't matter if you're just like rolling the head around and the shoulders around. It's going into your body, connecting into your body and finding what feels good. What this also does is it brings our power back within us. It's not outside of us. Our power isn't outside. It's within you. So this brings us back into our body. We feel safe when we do this. We're waking up the vagus nerve, which is the part of the nervous system. And it tells us we're safe. That gives us that. Puts us into this rest and digest, right, and take out fight or flight. So this is a really useful one to do, and as you can do this at any point during the day as well. I would do it as a warm-up for most. There's not much that I do sort of exercise-wise where I wouldn't start with the Soupy Grind, even when I'm getting on a paddleboard or something like that. Start with this. We ground in, we go into the body. The body's receptive when it feels safe. It's also going to be stronger. When you're in fear, anxiety, you don't feel safe in your own body, you're going to affect the immune system in a negative way. You're going to affect the whole of your well-being. We slowly go down, we come into the body, and we put ourselves into a state of safety. Oh, I'm safe in this body. And why are you safe? Because you're in charge. Let's change over the cross of the legs. Guided by you. It's the most beautiful relationship, I think, that you'll ever foster, is the relationship you have with your own body. So when you love your body, it'll love you back. When you treat it well, it'll treat you well. You know, it's that wonderful thing. And also, not just in your movement practice, but out in your life. You can use your body as your guide, like your antennae. You've got this antennae. And how does this help motivate us? It feels good. It feels safe. And also, we're going to reduce the chance of injury. And we can do this with the breath as well. And do all the movements with the breath. And what that'll do, I don't know if you can feel this already. You're coming into, you're quite calm, you're moving, but we're calming ourselves as we move. Doesn't mean to say that we're not going to be able to, you know, get our heart rate up, build strength and resilience, but we start from here. Let's come down to a stop. So this little man here is my inspiration for this. Panticulation. So movement's going to come from the heart. Panticulation, miles better than stretching. This is nature's way of resetting itself. So when you wake up in the morning, what do? We have a yawn. Imagine the breath coming from the heart. Oh, we yawn. And then we release. Now, when we move in this way, and there's science to it, it's inspired by animals, but there's science. Panticulation is a way the body is kind of revitalizing itself. And the movement's guided from within. So don't think that, I'm doing kind of there, you'll have to do the same as me. Stretch up, back again, even if we want to start to stretch the legs out a bit here. If it's more comfortable and you're taking care of the back, just keep the feet flat. But just imagine you're waking up in the morning, you're just having a yawn. Oh, that is panticulation, and it's probably the most helpful type of movement for these times that I can imagine. I'm just sort of ridiculously excited about panticulation. I'll just try one hand down and stretching the other arm up. The inhale, what happens is, if we were just to stretch like that, what happens is at some point we hit the stretch reflex, and the body goes, no more. When we inhale, we contract, we lengthen, and then we release. We don't get that stretch reflex. At all points, you are controlling how far you go with the stretch. So it's coming from you, but it's also incredibly helpful for balancing the nervous system. And our nervous system is hugely connected to our immune system. How we can do this lying down. And I would encourage you, this is what I do, like in bed in the morning, have a big stretch in your bed. You can do it from down on the floor, so stretching the fingers, just imagine a big yawn. So try and get into this technique of breathing, and the movement is generated from the breath at the heart space. Breathing, there's the yawn, you go to full stretch, and then you breathe out and you collapse. You do both arms, both legs at the same time. And then try one side. Now, if we were to go, say, straight into movements that are building strength and resilience, we're always stronger when we feel safe. So I use the example of when I did the zip wire, which I was terrified about because there was such good health and safety procedures. I felt brave because I was in safe hands. And there's where we're brave. Now just take the arms out to the side and take the legs up in the air. Just see if you can have a yawn with the feet and the legs. How do you panticulate with the legs? Can you feel that? Stretch through the toes so we contract as we kind of push the legs up and lengthen. You don't really need to think too much about the mechanics of what's happening. Just allow one leg at a time to yawn. And we're going to be using this technique when we go to the core integrity section as well, because this is where we release the issues in the tissues. This is where we balance the nervous system back. Now let's bring the feet down to the earth. And then we're going to drop the knees to the right. There's the inhale and the yawn. And then exhale, release. Take them over to the other side. Yawn and release. Now what might happen is you lift off that opposite hip, you push the knee away. How can you find a yawn with this? Play around with where the opposite arm goes. How do you find the yawn? I can't tell you how much of a difference it made to my freedom of movement, my state of health and well-being, when I stopped stretching and started panticulating. And I know some of you that have been doing this in classes with me, probably been feeling that benefit too. Maybe you want to lift off the opposite leg here, but just start to combine this idea of rolling around, getting soapy, which helps you connect to your body and the earth, and then this yawn and stretch. If you imagine what animals do. So animals naturally panticulate. It's their way of resetting themselves back to their natural balance. This is my aim for you all in, if you come to my classes and today to maybe just experience for the first time this idea of putting yourself back into a state of balance and then going further. It's like if you're, and the same thing applies with, say, eating. So you eat when you're stressed, you're just putting food into a hostile environment. If we try and exercise when we're stressed, we're just going to make things worse. So we want to get rid of the stress first, and then we can build up. And this is just a beautiful way of getting rid of the stress. And let's take hold of the back of the legs, and we're going to rock up to seated and swing the legs around behind. Part of the reason that this helps sort of kickstart things and helps motivation, hopefully it's feeling good. So I'm going to tuck the toes, I'm going to sit back onto the heels. And also I'm trying to give you impart a bit of information and education for you. So you imagine you're a cat now. So what we've traditionally done is sort of up cat, down cat, very linear. I'm going to invite you just to move around, get all slippery and slithery. Sit back onto the heels and take the hips in whatever way feels good. Just think about getting a really slinky spine. How do animals move to wake themselves up? What you'll also find by moving in this way, when we think that what we need is, health and exercise to burn calories and to go hard, we really, really don't need that mindset for these times. We want to be kind to our bodies first and to then build strength and resilience from a healthy state of balance in the nervous system. Now, maybe you want to start to extend one paw forward and try and find that volume in the side of the body. And that's what we're looking for. We're not looking to stretch in order just to lengthen the muscle. We're looking for create volume. Through our panticulation. Just move in whatever way feels good. Just you're in charge. This also does, as it brings us back into that state of primal fear. If we're inside our body and we're listening to our body, feeling safe into it, then we're not but our focus isn't on what's going on around us. It's what's going on within us. One of my invitations for this month, which I think would be very helpful, is to try not watching the news all month. And instead of watching the news, just get down on the floor and move. Move in a way that feels good. Watch your animals, or watch some animals, even, programs or something like that. We can learn from the animals right now how to keep ourselves well. Okay, now we're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. Now remember it, just find your own way with this. And even though I'm sort of giving guidelines as to where to go, we're going to go to standing, but as long as it feels good for you, just find your way. But we're just going to press the heels down, and we're going to just roll up carefully with the knees bent, rolling up carefully to standing. We're going to do some panticulation, standing, so reaching up and stretching. Oh. How does your body want to move in order to release any stiffness, any tightness? Maybe want to start to just take a big yawn with the arms and then release them down. Take a yawn. Oh. And see how you're in charge of how far you go with this. Start to wake the body up, rejuvenating the body through yawning, pandiculating like an animal. What you'll find is you start to get more freedom of movement. And don't worry if yours doesn't, look like mine. I've got a different body. We're all different shapes and sizes. I've all got different flexibilities, and I've got limitations of my own. You might have limitations. Our aim is to create freedom where there's not been freedom. Let's come to a stop. Let's just have a soft body bounce. That was a soft body bounce. So you can see that. You see me, it's just, I'm just jiggling the body, basically. Jiggling, that's it. That's the technical term for this one. This is actually a very powerful movement to release the diaphragms of the body, where we tend to hold stress and tension as well. And then just take a full body shake. Notice animals shake out stress as well. Yes, and then just come to a comfortable standing position. And take a moment just to really find your feet, your connection back to the earth. Maybe you can close the eyes or just have a soft gaze to the floor. As we just ground in and go into your body, can you feel all the energy moving in your body? You all have this electrical current. And this isn't hippie stuff, like yay, good vibrations. This is science. We've all got this electrical current within us. Can you feel what we've just done with that panticulation? Is that we're more electric. You might feel it as fizziness, just energy flowing. Our vibrational frequency, as it's also known as one of the biggest indicators of our health and well-being. We also have conscious control over this. Do you feel good? Can you feel everything flowing? This is how we keep our system healthy. We get everything flowing. It's not going to necessarily happen with, 30 sit-ups or just holding a plank for a minute. But this type of movement. Go to the sensations. Feel what you've managed to do within your body. Does it feel good? Feels good. Take the tip of the thumb, tip of the forefinger together on each hand and just press gently, just to seal in this energy. You feel how powerful your body is, how strong it is, how you can consciously affect your physiology. Change our vibrational frequency when we reset that electrical current and reduce inflammation. It's really the root of all disease. Okay, so we're going to slowly just come down to the floor. So you can slide the hands down to the knees and just come to find a comfortable seat for a moment. I just want to show you what a comfortable seat looks like. If that is you for the entirety of the session, That's fine. That's brilliant. That's what a comfortable seat looks like. Little Angelo, basking in the sunshine. I'm just going to move you out the way, Poppet. So just take a moment and grab a drink if you want one. Let's have a time check and see where we're at. We're great. We're great. Good, good, good. How are we feeling? Let's just have a check-in. We're feeling good? I love your thumbs up. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Oops. So the next part, so we've you may be getting the feel of what we're doing. You've got conscious control over this body. Everything comes from the inside. The strength comes from the inside. What's important before we do anything is we build this sense of primal trust. We feel safe in our body and we get our energy flowing. Hopefully you felt there, you got your energy flowing, we get our vibration up. How that helps us with our ongoing motivation, the more energy you've got, the more you feel good, the more motivated you are. We did some panticulation that got the energy flowing as well, but also helps reset the system, puts us into that state of balance of the system. Basically, it's everything going back to nature. And the next part that we're going to do, so our next step is building a sense of core integrity. So the body has this way that it self-stabilizes. And this is the part that's really important for these times. So, and what we found, and what's published in the British Medical Journal last month, is that the recommended amounts for exercise for reducing the risk of being infected and also significantly reducing the risk of severe illness or death if we follow these guidelines. So 150 minutes per week of moderate to intense exercise. So 5 times a week, 30 minutes. This could be, and it should include, 3 times a week of resistance training, so specifically metabolic training. There's 3 big risk factors when it comes to the virus, let's call it. So what they found was that 94.9% of the people that were hospitalized had an existing health condition. These were heart disease, lipid disorders of the lipid metabolism, so linked to obesity and diabetes, and also anxiety and fear-based disorders. So these were existing health conditions. So what we really want to be doing is looking at how do we reduce all those things. So one of the things that they've shown was resistance training 3 times a week, and specifically metabolic training, which would sort out that the middle one, the sort of disorder of lipid metabolic function there. So and this could be anywhere how your regime is. Of course, we if you're on my classes in the morning, you'll know we're doing 30 minutes. It's not always intense. On the days that it's not the intense, you might want to do, and a great target is just to go for 8 to 10,000 steps a day, hiking or walking. Hiking, if you've got some hills in there, then that's great. Not power walking for like 4 hours, but metabolic training, which I'm going to introduce you to in a moment, is a way of, it's also called rest-based training, is kind of, it's intervals training. You're doing short, sharp bursts. So there's a way that we can train in order to reduce all these risks. And in fact, it's not just good for reducing the risk of being infected with COVID. It's good for everything, to start all over health and well-being. So what we're going to do now is about half an hour of, let's call it metabolic training. So it's going to be this healthy way of training, and I'll be doing this Monday, Wednesday and Friday to help us kind of stay strong and healthy. So let's just have a little bit of a move around. Let's have a little bit of a Soupy Grind again. So just going back into that state of safety, because I was talking a little bit about some heavy stuff there. So let's go back into the body. So you know it works now, just moving around, getting all soapy. It can be down onto the earth. Now, before we start, I just want you to take a moment just to remind yourself that the most important aspect of any of this is that you keep yourself safe. So just listening to your body. We've all got, not just on our mat in our movement practice, but in life, you've all got a box, right? And it's called the not for me box. Snakes are in mine. It's one of those fears, never going to conquer it. They're just staying in that box. You know, so there might be movements for me, say headstands. I'm not ever going to be doing headstands. It's not for me box. For you, it might be something else. Whatever it is, there might be something that crops up here and you just go, my body is saying no to that. I'm putting that in the not for me box. That's one of the most important things you could ever do for your health and well-being, is to listen to when the body says yes and when the body says no. So I'm going to try and give you some different options as well. But if you treat this, and this is continuous movement. So we're not going to be doing like 10 press-ups, okay? We're going to be doing lots of full body movement that uses the body as a whole, like animals in nature. So I'll be able to give you lots of different ways of doing it, but the most important thing is that you find your own way. Your body will find its own way of getting there. So we're going to be going in directions, and you just find your way of how you get there and how you get that feeling of it. And we're going to lie down. We're going to start lying down. just out the way, I just looked at Angelo. He's like crashed out like this. Just, you know, how cats are, right? So I'll just use that as an example. This is how we should be training. You know, they have short, sharp bursts. They can pounce, and then they can just rest like that because their nervous systems are in balance. You know, they create this hermetic stress, which is the stress that's under our control. So that builds our strength and resilience. They've got that, we can pounce, but then we can, when we've got that, we also can balance that out with just being able to rest, just like that. You know, like when you've been on a big long hike and then you sleep really well. It's that kind of thing. So we're going to start laying down. We're going to start with a full body panticulation, and just treat this as play. Okay, that's really important. Treat the whole thing as play. So we're going to take a full body yawn, a full body stretch. Relax. Take 2 more of those, just under your own control. Just a big full body yawn. And let go. Full body yawn. Oh, it feels good, doesn't it? You'll get addicted to panticulation, honestly. And exhale. Okay, now just bring the feet flat on the floor. It doesn't matter where they are. It really doesn't matter. Let's just lose any attachment to, you know, alignment. We want the thighs pretty parallel, feet not turned out too much. Just feel your body safe on the earth. I'm going to bring the legs up in the air. I'm going to take the hands above the head. And then as you stretch out the legs, there's going to be our yawn. You could even point through the feet. Doesn't matter how far away they go from you. Or we want a long belly here, big inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to curl the knees in and curl up the head towards the knees. So just like this slight curling. Now we're going to place the feet down on the floor. On this one, we're going to push down into the feet and lift up the hips. There's the yawn. There's the inhale. It's strengthening, but it's also panticulation. Okay, and then release the hips down. Push you exhale. You're going to inhale, going to stretch the legs out, stretch the arms out. I'm going to exhale and curl in. And this is just like a warm up here at the spine. We're going to inhale, place the feet down. Lift the hips up in the air and exhale, drop the hips down. Inhale, stretch the arms, stretch the legs out. Exhale and curl in. Inhale, feet down, lift up the hips. So it should feel nice. There's the key to your motivation. It feels nice. You're in control. Exhale and curling. You make it as big or as small as you like, but try and keep this a context of it feeling good. Just like having a big yawn. You're extending yourself. You're expanding yourself. But what we don't want to do is add any, unpleasant stress. This is just a warm up. And now release the hips down and just let the knees drop side to side for a moment. And take the arms up to the side if you like. So after we've had a little effort, we do a little, this is called fascial unwinding, which sounds like a fancy term. It basically just means like resetting, relaxing afterwards. We want the balance, think of it as the balance between like effort and ease. Put effort in, and then we rest until we're ready to restart. So we're going to take a full body yawn once more. Now you can have the feet facing me. I'm sideways on for this one, just so that you can see what's happening. Full body yawn and then relax. Full body yawn for 5 counts. So we can start to combine things, the breath, panticulation, both together, 5 counts out. Remember that 5-second breath, really good for us. You're going to take the right hand and you're going to take it underneath the armpit and the left hand on the shoulders. Do you remember that self-care hug we had at the beginning? Let's just take the elbows side to side and get into massage into those bits in between the shoulder blades. And then just rock in until you're not rocking anymore. Now keeping the right hand just underneath the armpit, we're going to slowly roll onto the right hand side of the body. Just slowly rolling onto that right shoulder, onto the right hip, and taking the left hand. So it's just kind of in front of you, supporting yourself. The legs are straight here. And what we're going to do here, it's a little tricky. This is a fun one. I'm enjoying this one at the moment. Is all you're going to do is push down into that left hand and see if you can just lift yourself up on your side. Oh, hello, side body. So you push. So it's like a one-arm press up from the side. So, it's often hard to get into these bits in the backs of the arms, but we're not isolating just one thing. We're moving the body as a whole. And you do this just at your own pace. Just go as far as you like. You can play around with where that left hand is. Really just pushing into that hand. Even if you just lift up a tiny bit and you're pushing the earth away with the hand, you feel we've got that whole body strengthening going on there. Okay, now we're going to just come down to a relaxed position, but keep the left hand where it is. You're going to just start to bend the left leg. Just take the foot to the floor behind you. Now start to push yourself up onto your right side. Place the right hand down and you're going to come and look round towards the feet. So you'll probably be facing the front here. We're going to keep spiraling round. See, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. Okay, so we're sitting now with the left leg bent, the right leg straight. And now we're going to keep spiraling round. Going to turn towards that left thigh and take the left hand down. The left knee is going to drop down from here. And then you're going to reach the right arm up towards the sky in a panticulation. So it's like there's the yawn and the chest opens and sticks out. And then exhale and release down. Okay, so this might be as far as you go. If you want a little bit more, you can push down into that back hand, lift off the hips and look down towards that left hand. So we get more of an opening. And we're just going to stay here and pandiculate at your own pace. It's strengthening, but it's pandiculation as well. So it's like, there's the strength to lift you, but there's the contraction and then the lengthen. Now, if the hips are just down, this is okay. Just feel the whole body involved in the movement. And that's important. When we isolate, it doesn't kickstart this. The body's got this self-stabilizing mechanism, which will ground us and help us feel safe. That's why we're using the whole body. Very simply put, we're like animals, and that's how animals move. Just going to make sense, doesn't it? Okay, now we're going to turn back towards that right leg. We're going to take the left foot flat and the right foot flat. Similar movement, a crab reach. This is a really great movement for building strength and resilience, and specifically a strong back. Let's start just with the panticulation. The panticulation is the yawn there, the lift up of the chest, and then the softening. Yeah, so that might be as far as you go. You can play around with where the arm is so it feels good. And if you want a little bit more, you just push down into that backhand, push down into the feet, and you lift off. It's called a crab reach. Okay, you can place the hand wherever you like, both hands. This is your movement. But try and get this feeling again of the movement comes from the breath, comes from the center of the chest. There we go. Strength, resilience, but also a pandiculation. It's like a perfect effort and ease. It's not going to affect our nervous system too much. It's not going to stress us too much. It's all we're in control. Okay, drop down. Is that enough? Remember, you can just stop when you like because it's your body. What we're going to do from here, here comes trouble. What we're going to do from here is we're going to you're not going to be able to stay there, no. Start to turn towards that left hand. If we think where we're going to go from here is going to be a down dog or onto the hands and knees to start with, over that left shoulder. So where are we going to go? How are we going to do this? It's going to start to spiral the right arm around, start to look towards that left hand, start to drop the left knee. We're going to keep the right foot pushing down into that foot, and we're just going to switch ourselves around by releasing the left knee out to come down onto the knees. Now I'm going to switch back just in case you haven't got that. So we're on the feet, press the right foot down, release the left foot underneath, or however you get to all fours. It doesn't matter. You are the jigsaw puzzle and you're just finding your way. So we're on hands and knees here. Just have a little move around here. Oh, a little bit of pandiculation. After that, a little bit of fun. Break here. So the next movement is what everybody can do because we were designed to do it. And what's great about it is that you can do it in your own level. And it's called crawling, bear crawling in primal movement. So what happens is we bring the right knee forward, the left hand forward. So opposite. And we all know how to crawl, don't we? We do. We just forgot. And that's really what's fantastic about our bodies, is that they are these perfectly functioning organisms. We've just forgotten. If you want to, you can lift the knees off. Now, this would be something that I'd recommend if you want, like, just something, add a little bit of vigorous movement. It can be 15 seconds is enough of something like this. 15 seconds of crawling, that's going to make you really, really strong. Okay, sit back onto the heels and rest for a moment. That was just my excuse to give the cat a kiss. No, not really. Always good to rest in child's pose, wisdom pose. Rest-based movement. This is metabolic conditioning. So this is the type of movement that we need. to be keeping ourselves strong and resilient from the inside out. Okay. Our next one, just going to do a few of these actually. I'm going to give you level 1. We sit back onto the heels. We've got a little crouch. And then you come forward and tighten the belly. Sit back onto the heels. Exhale. Got our brace. Or the crouch and pounce. And then we're going to add in a little press. Now the hands are going to be a little wider than shoulder width apart. Elbows flail out. We only come halfway down and then we sit back. Okay, so we float forward, brace the belly, bend the elbows, push up, sit back. Really great, simple, full body weight training. We don't need a gym. Everyone seems to need to go to the gym. And also, let's face it, the gyms might close. Control the controllables. Learn to get your resistance training wherever you are. And you know, animals don't have gyms, do they? I don't need gyms. You don't have a gym. You've got me to play on, haven't you? Yeah. Now, if you want to take this up a gear, what we can do is lift off the hips. We can do it from a down dog. We float forward and we press from plank. Oh, now, don't strain or beat yourself up if you can't do this variation. And also, there's an in-between, which would be a down dog. Knees down, press. And we just want to do this for 15 seconds. And then rest. What you might want to do is sit back onto the heels and just take the wrists and go like this. Yeah, quite hard work for the wrists. Where are we going from here? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I know where we're going. Yes. So, next piece of the jigsaw. Walking the hands back, lifting off the knees. We're going to roll up to standing. And just have a soft body bounce. Take a moment just to get yourself set. This is a new one for everybody. I think even those guys that do this regularly with me, I think this is a new one. And it's called a squat and a swivel. We start with the feet. Now, they're not going to be, usually we do lunges like this, don't we? Like what, long leg lunges. It's going to be a kind of cross between a squat and a lunge, which are functional exercises, require core integrity, using the body as a whole. If you need to, you can take hold of something next to you, okay? So for balance, you know you struggle with your balance. And the wonderful thing about this one is you can self-regulate. Self-regulate means you're in charge, you're in control, you decide how far you go. So what we're going to do, first movement is feet a little wider than the hip width, just comfortable distance apart. We're going to lift off the heels and we're going to swivel on the toes and turn towards the right. Okay, so you can have something for balance if you like. You can have your hands behind the head, that's quite nice as well. I quite like that one, just to open up the chest, but it's a bit harder. Or you can have the hands on the hips and the elbows back. And all we're going to do is bend that back knee. Oh, we're going to see if we can squat all the way down as far as we can, and then lift up. We want to keep the chest open. So we're not leaning too far forward. We want to keep the chest open and go straight down. Maybe we can sit back onto the heel. Don't worry if you can't, that's quite tough for the knees, and I've been losing my balance all week doing that, so it's tough. But there's just where you can go with it. You can go a little way down and then lift up. You self-regulate. Can you feel how, if you're getting that sort of shaky leg and losing your balance and wobbling, that's because your stabilizing muscles are having to work. Your body's having to work to stabilize yourself. So this is this self-stabilizing the body's got. Ooh. Do one more. And let's swivel. Drop the heels back to the front. You feel the difference. Just have a check in there. Mostly the left leg was working there. You feel the difference, how it's kind of feel maybe a little bit more planted, stabilized into the earth. If we do this stuff, it's going to make us feel strong and grounded. Feel strong and grounded, we're more motivated, more resilient. Let's lift up the heels, go swivel to the other side. Plant the feet, keep the chest open, so the hands can be at the back of the head. If you're pretty good with and with your strength, and you've been doing this a long time, your knees are okay and in tip-top shape, you know where your kind of challenge may be, maybe just squat down and take the bottom to that back heel. Whoa, can you feel that? I find that one tough too, and it's really tough. Strong legs help us stay grounded through tough times. And this is the whole body moving. If you think about it, we are designed to do this. This is how our movement should be, stuff that we were kind of designed to do. And even if you're holding on to something and you're only going a little way, congratulate yourself for just doing it and being where you are. It's okay. Working with your own limitations is mindful movement. It's listening to your body. Now, can we swivel back round to the front? Can we do one each way? Choose a position with your hands. Be on the hips. Lift up the heels. We swivel to the right. And then release down. Heels. Swivel. So this is the kind of thing that we do for metabolic training. Keep our metabolism high. There's also things that we can do for these disorders of lipid metabolism through what we eat. And in the program this month, I'll be sharing a lot about how the kind of things that we can eat and how we eat, things like intermittent fasting, how we can train our metabolic system to be healthy, staving off things like obesity and diabetes. Oh, can you feel the thighs burning? They're burning a little, that's okay. If the knees are hurting, then just leave it for now. Let's come to the front. Oh, give the legs a shake out. Oh. Okay. All recovered? Take a couple of breaths. Just ground yourself. Take a couple of breaths. Worked hard there. The next one's one of my favourites. It's our last little blast. So legs a little further apart. This is called speed skater. Now it starts just like quite high up, the bottom sticking out. And it's like you're speed skating on ice or across a dance floor. Now we're going to slow it right down. We're going to make it into a bit more of a challenge. Now we've got our balance. Again, you can hold on to a wall or something if you need to. I'm going to take the weight onto the right leg, and we're going to take the left leg behind. Now, either you can just balance on your toe or even lift the leg up. Okay, so we're going to skate over to that side. Left, yeah, lift up the right foot. Speed skating. The key is you to keep the head lifted, the bottom sticking out, so the back's safe. So you're not rounding. It's no good to anyone. One head lifted, speed skater. And then if you want to take it up a gear, you can hop it. Now this is possibly one of my most fun things for building core integrity. It's just so good for us. And it just feels like fun. You would just maybe do it for 15 seconds and then rest. So then rest when you need to. Let's bring the hands to the heart. And can you feel we've got our heart rate up, we've got the blood flowing, we've got everything moving, but hopefully in a safe and playful way. For me, that's what movement should be. Safe and playful. And accessible to all. Okay. Let's come to the front of the mat. So I'm coming sideways on. You can stay facing forwards. So we're going to go down to lying down onto the back from here. So remember, everybody's body's different. Everybody's going to do it differently. But we're going to see if we can come down to a squat. So we're going to bring the hands forward, bottom back. And then down to a squat. Drop down the bottom and roll back. And just have a few rocks and rolls back. Until you come down to lying onto the back. When you get down onto the back, I'm really happy to see some of you smiling there. Looking like you're having fun. Once you get down to lying on the back, go and get soapy. So go and give yourself that nice oily massage on the earth. What does your body need? Reconnecting. It'll naturally, having done this movement, it'll naturally find its way to unwind itself. So here's our recovery time, which is as important as the movement. Okay. So planting the feet firmly on the ground. I'm just going to do a few bridge and curls. And we'll do the same thing on the other side, basically. Do the whole thing again, the other side. So we're going to take the arms up in the air. Find that lovely stretch and open up the front of the belly, and then bring the legs up in the air too. So we've got an arched back here, long belly. Bend the knees as much as you need to here. And then you're going to exhale. I'm just going to curl in, bring the hands alongside the body. Let's do a few where we bring the feet down. We've got the bridge next. Push down into the feet. We lift off the hips. You feel that panticulation. Inhale. Oh, we've got the stretch of the arms and legs. And we've got the exhale. We've got the curling. We've got the inhale, the feet come down. We've got the bridge lift, the hips lift off. Lovely stretching inhale. Exhale, release down. Inhale, legs out. Exhale, curling. Inhale. And exhale, release down. And just dropping the knees side to side. Take the arms out, getting all soapy again. Just do what feels nice to massage the lower back, even each buttock as you roll side to side. And let's take a full body yawn. We know that now, don't we? Full body yawn. Stretching the fingers, stretching the toes. And then let's take a self-care hug. Taking the left hand underneath the right armpit, the right hand to the right shoulder, and just rocking the elbows side to side. Massage those sticky bits in between the shoulder blades. And I'm going to keep the left arm where it is. I'm going to roll onto the left hand side. The right hand comes down in front. So the legs are straight, so you're lying on your side. I'm going to push into that hand, take a little tricep press up. Oh, can you feel that side of the waist? What's happening? You've got the contraction and then the length. So pushing into the hands, there's the inhale. And exhale, release down. So it's still like a yawning stretch. Now, it could be that, it's quite tough. It could be that you only lift a tiny bit, even if it's just the head lifted and you're pushing down into the earth. You're still going to get that contraction you feel in the tricep here, which is pretty difficult to access really without sort of gym equipment and things and without sort of ones that kind of do a bit of damage to the shoulders. And this is one of the best ones I've found that uses the whole body, but also involves this tricep there. Okay. Let's relax a bit with the head lifted. With your left leg, you're going to bend the leg. You take it to the floor behind you. You do this, you can push up, bring the right hand down, and just start to spiral back towards the legs. So you plant your left sit bone. We keep spiraling round, so releasing the right hand, spiraling around towards that left knee, which drops down. The left hand comes down to the floor here. So we've got the panticulation, we've got the reach up, and we've got the drop in it. So we've got the reach up. So remember, movement coming from the breath. If you can manage 5 in and 5 out, then what we're doing, we're balancing the nervous system at the same time as strengthening and panticulation. So it's everything at once. Sort of a very efficient way of us moving and training to keep the body in balance. Maybe the hips lift off. Oh, maybe you look down towards that back hand, just play around with where that top hand wants to go. Oh, it should feel nice. There's the key. When the movement feels nice and it feels like what your body wants, you're going to want to keep it up. You're going to be good. Like, my body's craving this. I know some of you, and you've told me that, you know, when you've had a period where you've like missed the sessions, it's like your body craves it, and that's what we want, really. Okay, let's come back down to sit onto our seat. We're going to drag this right heel in and plant the left foot. So we're kind of making a tripod with the back hands and the feet. And we've got our crab reach. Find the panticulation first. Panticulation is breath from the center of chest. Inhale, everything expands. Exhale, dropping in. If you want a bit more, you can lift off the hips. Whee! Doesn't that feel fun? I love movement where it feels like you're about 6 years old. All these things that we did, and this is much safer for us than the sort of back bends that are they're almost passive in yoga. You want to feel like that the strength is coming from within you, and you're in charge. And this is crucial. This is the key to your ongoing sense of strength and being empowered. It's coming from within you. And let's release down. So we've got our left hand almost in place. You might want to just like turn to that left hand and think like where we're going. We're going to all fours facing back behind us. So what's going to happen is this right leg needs to sort of tuck in underneath. And then we have this sort of swivel action. You think about what's going to happen first. Look towards that right hand. Start to rotate the knees, the left hand. Start to rotate the knees down to the left. Push down into the right foot and release that left foot to come around onto all fours. However you get there, it's okay. Remember, your body's a jigsaw puzzle. And let's have a crawl. Do you remember the crawling? It's a bit fun. I know some of you that do classes in the morning love the crawling. And it's the epitome of core integrity. It's all these things. You're in charge, conscious control, primal trust, you know, connecting to the ground, your body. It's what we're designed to do. You know, it's as it sounds, it's very primal. It's what animals do. It's core integrity, everything moving together as a whole. And then coming to a stop. Extending the arms out a little bit more. We're going to crouch and pounce. Crouch and pounce. Oh, an animal getting ready to go and catch a bird. I shouldn't tempt fate by saying that. Now, this could be enough for you. What you want to feel is if you've got this brace here in the belly. You want to add a little press in, you bend the elbows, and you push up and back. Again, if you want a little bit more, we can go down dog and press. So 3 options there. You can go crouch and pounce. Crouch, pounce, press. In fact, 4 options. Down dog, bounce, press. Down dog, back, press. Most important thing is you do it with a smile on your face. That helps everything. And then have a little rest in child's pose. So when you get there, open up the knees and just get all comfy and cozy. We've got the fun stuff next. You might want to take some big breaths out, opening the mouth. Okay. Lifting up the head, top the toes. We're going to come to standing, so just walking the fingertips back. Lifting off the knees and carefully rolling up to standing. Just finding your feet for a moment. So as we come to standing, just take a moment just to reground yourself. And just spot. Feet a little wider than hip width. We're just going to go straight into the alternating swivel and squat from here. So remember, you might want something to balance yourself against. And lift off the heels. Take the hands to the hips or behind the head if you like. Swivel. And squat. Keeping the chest lifted, head lifted. Swivel. Round to the other side. And squat down as far. This feels good for you. You're in control. And last one to the left. Releasing the arms. Oh, a little shaky leg syndrome there. Your legs were shaking there. So when we're stretching something, the shake isn't good. That's a stretch reflex. When we're doing balancing stuff and you get that like shaky leg, it's the stabilizing muscles waking up. So that's kind of okay. Take legs a little wider. Our favorite to end on. Sound effects are helpful. I came across something the other day, and there's a few teachers using sound effects at the moment, but somebody was saying that the sound helps, and I can't remember what the science is behind it. But I just love that idea. Now, can we lift one leg off? Maybe you want to add a hop in. Let's just do 15 seconds at your own pace. Just being playful with it, but extending yourself maybe a little harder than you would have done before, because we're nearly finished. 4, 3, 2, 1, and have a soft body bounce. See, the sound helps us there. Bouncing until you're not bouncing anymore. And how do you feel? You feel strong from the inside. You feel you did it. Was it me? You did it. How much power you can create, how we can change our physiology, we can change our state and keep ourselves strong and resilient. It doesn't have to feel punishing. It's really important. going to be fun. Okay, so I'm going to come down. I carefully come down to find your seat again. So I hope to show you there, ways, and I put together that sequence based on all the things that I knew about keeping the system in balance while getting this metabolic training in. So I hope you're feeling strong from that. There's lots of kind of primal sequences you can do, and getting out into nature is fantastic for us because also that's the vitamin D boost. The key is maybe finding things that you can do from wherever you are that don't require maybe you to go somewhere to do it, in case that closes, you would be too dependent on something that's kind of out of your control. But also that's maybe you can see progress in as well. So you can do it from anywhere. You can see progress. This is incredibly motivated for keeping you on track. And that was only about, half an hour. It was maybe a little bit longer as I talked you through the movements, but that was about half an hour of movement. And we'll be doing that sequence in the sort of 3 times a week in the resistance training. So part of this month, so that you can see the progress in some of the movements as well, and hopefully you'll feel that strength start to build in the body. Now the next thing, and probably one of the most important ways that we can consciously change our biology and physiology from the inside out is through breath work. And Wim Hof's method was really life-changing for me because I couldn't hold my breath for a long period of time, and I couldn't stand the cold. So it was like my biggest challenge. And now I'm doing the cold showers. This is a great way that we can take conscious control over our bodies. But this is specifically good, this breathing method, it's a fly on the screen, for regulating our nervous system and strengthening our immune system. So we know at the moment this is really, really important to keep our immune system strong. And this is a breathing technique that I'm going to teach you, which involves a breath hold. And this is using the theory of hermetic stress, which is like we create a kind of a stressor on the body. So in this context, that will be these like 30 breaths where it feels like you're hyperventilating. We're creating a stressor so that the body's then able to, it finds ways to adapt to that stressor so that when you're in the outside world, you're more resilient if a stressor comes along. We get good at regulating our nervous system. Actually, the magic's happening in the breath hold. We create the stressor through the 30 inhales. The breath hold is where we consciously control that urge to breathe again. And there's where the magic's happening, because we're actually changing on a cellular level, even our DNA structure. We change that through this process of where the breath hold is, and the blood's flowing to reoxygenate these cells. So it's incredibly powerful. It's been scientifically proven. And anecdotally as well, I know of anybody that I know that does this is kind of like a warrior, powerhouse, and that doesn't get ill very often. So you can do this lying down, or you can do this sitting up. If this is the first time you've done it, then you might want to just stay sitting up for a moment while I explain what's going to happen. So we do 30 really big inhalations, and it's literally like that. See where it comes from. It comes from the belly, the breath comes in here. Imagine this like burst goes like a waterfall, and then it's like this. The exhale just happens automatically. We do that 30 times, and on the last one we just stop, and we just hold. This is I'm saying hold, but I shouldn't really have said hold. It's more we just be, and we just don't breathe. The heart will still be beating. Now with this one, this is important where we find that balance between, we've got comfort zone and we've got stress, like, or panic, either end of the spectrum. We want to be right in the middle to create this hormetic stress. And we want to be in stretch or challenge. So it should challenge yourself. But if it becomes where you've gone into a state of panic, then, it's no longer useful. So it's not a competition. So I'm going to set a timer for, about a minute and of a breath hold. If you need to take a breath in the middle, your challenge is to overcome the urge to breathe, but without it becoming stressful. But if you need to, take a swallow. That can help. Try a swallow. In fact, I've started adding that in after the 30 breaths, a swallow. That's how the body naturally kind of relaxes itself. So let's get set up, and we just want to find our breath first of all. Just get, we want to be grounded. So lie back if you want to, or sit back. You can lean against something. Just observe the breath going in and out. Just trying to gradually lengthen it. Our sweet spot is a 5-second breath, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. That might feel too long to start with. That takes a bit of practice. Maybe go for 3 seconds if this is new for you. Adjust your position if you need to, so that you're as comfortable as possible. We don't want anything else kind of straining or stressing the body. And imagine where the breath's going to come from. So imagine the journey of the breath in the 3 parts: belly, chest, head. Know that you are strong. The body is able to do this. Also, it's just practice. So I'm going to count down from 3. And then we'll begin the 30 breaths. And then we'll just pause for a minute. So from a relaxed place, feel the ground beneath you supporting you. Feel the strength of your heartbeat. It's going to continue beating throughout. You've got this. Just 3, 2, 1. So the exhale is just a letting go. You don't even need it. It'll happen automatically. Done 10. You can make the breath as fierce or as mild as you like, but the more you put in, the more you're going to get out. Just another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Close the mouth. Take a swallow if you need to, and just be. Just observe what's going on in the body, knowing that this is where all the magic is happening. The body is strong enough to do this. You have conscious control over this process already. If you've just held this long, you've already significantly benefited your body, made changes on a cellular level. Just watch what's going on. Just be with it. You feel the urge to breathe, just relax a bit more. It's another 10 seconds. You've got this. Taking a deep breath in. Hold the breath for 15 seconds at the top of the inhale without holding any tension in the body. Just relax, but hold the breath. Magic's still happening. And then breathe in normally. Whatever you managed. Congratulate yourself now. Just for being here and practicing. Taking small steps towards a healthier, stronger, happier you. Just take some time now, just if it feels, if you want to fidget, if you want to lie down, just take some time just to reconnect with your body and how it feels, or maybe you're just lying still and enjoying the sensations, can you feel what difference you've made to your body and how you feel today? This is conscious, proactive, preventative health. Placing your focus on the things that you can control. Just small changes. Maybe you want to use a mantra now as well, just to supercharge this feeling. I'm strong in this body. I'm strong on this earth. I'm strong in this life. And if that's feeling good, take the tip of the thumb, tip of the forefinger together on each hand and just press gently. Anchoring it in, sealing it in. And then when you're ready, either just rolling onto one side or however you want to, come back in to a seated position and get yourself comfortable. Are we feeling strong? Warrior-like. So the important bit is what we do from here. So I mentioned that, one of the biggest mistakes that we can make when we're trying to get back into a healthy ritual or routine is we try and think we can overhaul everything all at once, and then we make it too difficult for ourselves, and then we fail, and then we feel rubbish, and then we get in that negative cycle. So the most important thing that you could do, my best piece of advice for staying on track and for getting into a routine, is to just pick one thing at a time, one change that you make to your daily routine or ritual, and then you just commit to that. Anything else that you do doesn't mean to say that you don't need to do anything else, but just set yourself a goal of just this one thing. So for instance, if you're doing this program over the month, then it might just be, I'm just going to commit to the morning classes. That's it, like the 30-minute class first thing in the morning. It could be that you're going to commit to, say, a 30-minute walk each day. It could be getting up that half an hour early and getting yourself a a good breakfast. It could be, you know, you're going to go out and do a bit of crawling in the woods each day. But just changing one thing. It could be the breathing method that you do. And there's loads of, Wim Hof's got loads of videos online how to do that. But what I would suggest that you do is pick one thing now that you're going to commit to this month that you can do most days. Let's say most days, or say weekdays. It was a complete accident that I was doing this kind of these rise and shine ones. It just happened to be 30 minutes, say 5 days, 5 days a week, which adds up to the 150. But it is really useful. And you might want to get your pad and pen here. I'm going to share with you. Some of you might have seen this before. Probably the most simple but effective, like, motivational tool for habit change. And I've been using this for years and years and years with people on fitness camps and things like that. And through coaching, it doesn't necessarily need to be related to fitness. It could just be like your daily habit is, I'm going to say the mantra, I am strong in this body 30 times each morning. That could be your small change. But I'm going to share how it works now, so that you've got something to take away with you and something that to sort of keep you on track this month. So all you need to do is you can use a calendar for this. If you've got a calendar, you know, a wall calendar, that's great. Or if not, just print off something for like September or these 4 weeks. You just need like let's say this is a calendar. I'm a dreadful drawer, but I like to draw it in real time because otherwise I think it helps it go in. So let's say we've got this. Can you see this okay? Just about. I'll come a little closer. So we've got week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And we've got today, Sunday, or whenever you watch this, we can already tick. So we've got 7 days in each week. So this, you know, this is a calendar, or you can make your own. Okay, so we've got all the weekdays, 28 days over 4 weeks. So all that you need to do is pick your one habit. So let's say, for instance, just for argument's sake, rise and shine, because I know some of you are going to be doing that this month, maybe for the first time as well. So a rise and shine, 8 till 8:30. It doesn't even need to be at that time, it could be any time, but just getting up, saying, dude, I'm going to commit to doing 30 minutes of exercise. Now, all we need to do is each time you do it, you give yourself a tick. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You give yourself a tick. Now, what this does is it shows you making progress. It's like that idea of giving yourself a Blue Peter badge when you've done it. It's like, oh, you can make it a gold star. You can make this into something really creative. Now, all you need to do for the month out of these 28 days is to get to 21. This is why this program's structured like this. Why 21? Does anybody know? It takes 21 times to make a habit. Each time you tick this, it's probably, if it's a new habit, it's going to be tough until you've done it 21 times. Now, if you know that it's tough for only 21 times and then it's a habit, it kind of helps you motivate yourself, because you kind of go, I'm getting closer to that 21. So you can even go, oh, look, I'm at 5 already. Well, I'm going to do 5 each week. We've already done one. We did the Sunday. Get 5 each week. You know, at the end of the month, it's going to be a new habit. And so all it is, all habits are building new neural pathways. It's like you make the decision to do it. It's new. While it's new, it's like your old pair of slippers. Old pair of slippers are comfy and cozy. New ones, you get into them, it's all uncomfortable. So it might be difficult for 21 times, but after 21 times, if you know after 21 times it's going to be easy and you're watching your progress, this is incredibly motivational. Now, why is it not 28 days? Because, life is such, you're probably not going to be able to do it 7 days a week. And that's like a bit unrealistic to do it 7 days a week. So you want to give yourself those off days, or even, didn't manage to do it on Wednesday, that's fine, I'm going to catch up on Saturday, I'll do it then. Because why many people fail when they're embarking on new exercise and fitness regimes is that they go, oh God, I missed yesterday, I've gone and blown it now. Or either I'll restart on Monday, or they go, oh, I've gone and blown it now, I'm rubbish. It's too difficult, and then leave it. Instead, what you go, oh, I missed that day, never mind, I'll catch up then. But you can see your progress. It's like a simple reward chart that I think parents use for children, or teachers use it. And it kickstarts that dopamine. It gives you a little dopamine rush when you can give yourself that tick. So it kickstarts that innate reward system within us. We want it to feel rewarding. This is really key. So the final thing on this, I would suggest, is you set yourself something at the end of the month that's a reward for you. When I've done that 21, I'm going to give myself a reward of XYZ. Now, I did this years back with the snooze button. I was kind of addicted to using the snooze button in the morning, and I wanted to kick that habit. And so I used this, and it's incredibly rewarding when you've done it, and it is easy once you've done it 21 times. It's really the same thing as, say each morning you have a cup of tea with 2 sugars. Oh, instead I'm going to have, a banana tea or something like that, and eat, or I'm just going to have it without sugar. Each time you do it, you tick it off, you do it. You only do one thing at a time. Next month you can tackle something else. I would suggest, though, for best results, you do it first thing in the morning, because it's more likely to get done first thing in the morning. But also, if you choose something that you do first thing in the morning that it's good for your health and well-being, then that will shape the rest of your day. You're either going to put your best foot forward, or you're going to be chasing your tail all day and then trying to get that best foot back out. So best thing to do is a morning ritual, and just getting up that little bit earlier. Could be, one of the great things for our immune system, I'll be sharing lots of these this month, is get up. I'm doing this at the moment, is get up, have a cold shower first thing. So cold shower, like 20 seconds, blast. That's going to change your whole day. If you put that difficult thing in first, the challenge in first, because you're going to feel great when you've done it. And that is the key to you staying on track, and for you to to keep these things sustainable, is that you feel good about what you're doing. So if you're going to be doing movement, allow it to be movement that feels good for you. If it's going to be, you're going to make a change to, say, what you eat for breakfast, make sure it's something that you really like. Don't go for the should, go for that. I really want that. It's healthy and it sustains me. But anything you do, make sure that you're feeling good about it, because for a certain amount of time you can keep up stuff that you don't really want to do because you think you should, and because the willpower's taken over. But that's not sustainable. You only want to make changes that you think, I can keep this up for the rest of my life, and I want to keep this up for the rest of my life, and then you will keep it up. You might fall off the wagon, you just get back on. It's just like, miss a day. If you've missed a month or 2 or 3 recently, forget it. Just get back on track. Just get back on track. You didn't blow it. It was just a glitch. You just get back on track, and you just reset. You just reset with the words, the thoughts, your movement, your breath, your actions. These things, do things that you can change your state of mind by changing your physiology. You notice you jump up and down, you can change your physiology. So we can change these things when we just decide and we remember that we're in charge. These things that are under our conscious control. And when we remember that we're strong. Are we strong? Do you feel ready for the month ahead? You strong? Give me a warrior pose if you're feeling strong. There's a good thing to do, is have something that's your warrior pose, like with wild warrior, didn't we, in something like that. Warrior pose if you're feeling strong. Your body, if I could, oops, sorry, something, an advert just came on the screen. Tried to swipe it off. Your body is probably the answer right now. Well, I think there's two things that we need to focus on to get through these times. One is our body and the other is nature. Going back to nature, but also our body is a place that we can come home to, we can feel safe in, and that's something that we've got conscious control over. We go back inside. You're in charge. This is, you know, this is your body. You're in charge of it and you can affect it. Stay away from the news and invest in this. And I think that's how we get through these times. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to keep the recording on. If anybody wanted to ask any questions, let me see if I can unmute anybody, or if anybody wants to unmute themselves. I know some of you like to be private on there, but I think some of the questions might be useful. I'll keep the recording on for a little while for anybody who doesn't mind asking questions that will be on the recording, and then I'll switch the recording off and we can have any private chats too. Has anybody got any public questions for me? Has everybody got something they've written down that they're going to do? Because I'm interested if you'd like to share them. We've not got any public questions. What I'll do is switch off the recording. If you're watching the recording, I'd be really interested to find out what the one thing that is that you're committed to doing. Let me know if you've got any questions on this. I call the Magic 21 strategy. I'm going to send you out I've got a sheet that's sort of got that on. So I'll send that out with the recording. But I am interested to hear what you might have chosen. So I'm going to switch off the recording now. And if those of you that are online, if you want to share with me what yours are, I'd love to hear it. So sending you lots of love and light, Wild Warriors.